Find your seat, a comfortable seat, a hero's pose, Virasana. Place your hands on your knees, lift your sternum, and begin to release the shoulders away from your ears. Offer your body a surrender. You can see from the insert, you can sit on the medium side of a block to elevate your hips to offer more comfort to your body if you choose. Settle in. Arrive in the present moment. The fifth niyama in yoga is called Ishvara Pranihara, a self-surrender, a devotion to the sacredness of life, a wonder of the natural world. Invite yourself today to surrender to something larger than yourself, a connection to the collective consciousness of the universe, grounded in love, grounded in compassion. Releasing control, releasing and surrendering to your interpretation of the divine, whatever that might be for you. Each pose in today's practice will open your hips and offer you challenge. Surrender and soften during movement, and find what feels comfortable and right for your body, using props, using all the modifications that I offer. Releasing the hips allows all the stored emotions within you to begin to melt away. You will be challenged, but remain constant with your breath. Surrender to your breath, and then surrender to stillness. Eventually, with practice, opening the hips offers freedom in your body, physically and spiritually. Sit with the breath. Sit in the moment. Choosing with intention to notice and feel. Focusing on your ability to be in the moment, to offer the body surrender. If sankalpa or intention is part of your practice, choose your sankalpa, your resolve. Allow it to invoke a positive change in your life, one that brings about the best possible version of yourself. Honor your intention as you practice. Notice the breath. Notice the air on your skin. Sitting in stillness, sitting in silence. Observing with awareness. Preparing the body, preparing the mind. to flow, to move, and to release control, release, and surrender. Inhale the arms overhead, prayer hands in front of your heart center. Bow and honor the present moment. Move into your first hip opener, the Garland pose, Malasana. Separate your knees and let your chest move in between your knees. If any discomfort, see the insert, and you can sit on a block and place a rolled blanket under your heels to help move you closer to the earth. Stretch the hamstrings and the quads. Hands in front of the heart center, Anjali Mudra. Release and come into a table for a moment. Prepare for your next hip opener, a lizard pose. Let your right leg walk up, stretch your left leg long behind you, lift your knee. And as you can see from the insert, you can create a little more space and rest your arms on blocks, even lowering your back knee. If no modifications, straight arms and right foot lifted to its outer edge. Breathe, release, and surrender just a little bit more with each breath. Release your back knee, let your right knee join the left, and move into a child pose, stacking forehead on fists, just resting the body for a moment before you prepare for lizard on the opposite leg. Lift the torso, return to a table position, and this time step the left leg forward. Your hands are to the right of your foot. Your right leg is stretched long behind you and lifted. Remember, from the insert, you can rest the forearms on blocks or just keep your arms straight, gazing over the front of your mat. Feel the deep stretch in the quads, in the hamstrings, and in the hips. The outer edge of your left foot is lifted, toes pointing towards the sky. Breathe, connect to the breath, and then move your left leg back to meet the right, and once again rest in child's pose. This time your arms can circle behind you, finding the soles of your feet. Offer the body a few breaths, a few moments of quiet and stillness, listening to the body. Return to table. Walk the handprints up a little bit on your mat and rise into a downward facing dog, stretching the hamstrings, the front of the legs, the back of the legs, coming up on toes, pedaling right and left, feeling the length in your spine. Inhale your right leg long behind you, and let it come forward as you bend the knees, straightening and lengthening the left leg, pressing out with the toes, finding a little bit more length as you prepare for the Pigeon Pose. Another deep hip opener. From the insert, you can see that I've placed a blanket under my bent knee, helping to level the hips. That's an option, a modification for you. Keep your arms straight, hand prints placed on each side of your forward knee, gazing over the front of your mat. Rocking right to left, finding just the right position, the right shape for your body. As you breathe, as you surrender and let go. With practice, this position, this shape becomes easier and more delightful. Breathe into the stillness, holding the pose, the posture, the shape for as long as is comfortable for your body. Letting the right knee meet the left, finding some circulation, and returning to a table, lifting the knees, hovering the knees, and coming up into your downward facing dog. Walking the dog, coming up on toes, pedaling right and left. Inhaling and lifting the left leg, letting it step through as you bend the knee and find Pigeon Pose on the opposite leg. Lengthening your right leg, helping your toes find just the place where your right leg needs to lengthen. Arms alongside your forward leg, pressing into the earth. Remembering that you can level the hips on the left leg by placing a blanket underneath your hip, your buttock area. Pressing into the earth, gazing over the front of your mat. Allowing the hips to open as you sink into the pose. Find stillness and release and let go just a little bit more with each breath. Reconnecting to the breath, finding focus, inviting stillness. Let the left leg come back to meet the right. Offer the left leg some circulation. Prepare for your next pose, the frog pose. It is most comfortable if you have a blanket available and can place it underneath your knees. Come down on your knees into a table, widen your knees as you lower the torso. Extend the arms, come down on your elbows, and let your feet walk out. Flexing your feet, gazing over the front of your mat, keeping the core strong and the low back flat. Opening your hips deeply and opening your groin. Finding the breath. Surrendering and letting go with each exhale. Releasing emotions. Releasing tension. Finding a blissful feeling in stillness. Walk the knees together as you come up slowly, resting in child pose. Finding the breath, appreciating this moment of stillness that you can offer your body in your practice today. lifting up, removing the blanket. Just remove it from your area. And if you have a bolster, find your bolster or some rolled towels or rolled blankets and place the bolster lengthwise behind you. Keep a distance between your sacrum and the bolster. Sit on your knees and begin to fold the torso, the back body, onto the bolster as you move into camel pose. As you can see from the insert, you can move the bolster closer to your buttocks. Keep one leg bent and one leg straight as you just hold on to the bolster. If you have a healthy back, the bolster is away from your buttocks. Your chest is open. You are receiving. Your legs are bent and your arms are alongside your body. Feeling the deep stretch in the thighs. Letting the bolster support you. Allowing yourself to surrender, release, and let go. It's amazing how with practice over time, each pose becomes a little bit easier, a little bit more inviting, and offers the body a deeper surrender. Bend your elbows, lift yourself up, straighten the spine. Come off of the bent knees and let your legs release long in front of you, just offering some movement, flexing and pointing your toes. Just finding some gentle movement in your legs. Moving the bolster out of the way, off to the side, and coming down on your back body, slowly, mindfully. Bending your knees, walking them towards your hips, and then beginning to cross your right leg over your left. Inhale your arms underneath your left legs as you move into a figure 4 pose. Move the knees closer to the chest. Let your shoulders release into the earth. Tuck your chin slightly. Keep your bent knee, the foot on your bent knee flexed, and breathe, feeling this deep hip opener, this stretch in your groin and hips and thighs. Release from the pose, uncross the legs, and cross your left leg over your right thigh. Interlace your fingers underneath your right thigh. Let your shoulders release to the earth. As you inhale and move your knees in towards the chest, flex the foot on the bent leg. Your right leg can just dangle. Chin is still slightly tucked. Inhale and exhale, maybe trying to move the right knee in towards the chest just a little bit more. Uncross both of your legs and walk your feet in towards your buttocks. Preparing for Setu Bandhasana, the bridge pose. Fingertips walk down towards the toes. Inhale and lift the torso, the chest. Feel your feet grounded into Mother Earth. Inhale and lift just a little bit more. Right shoulder lifts, left shoulder lifts, arms interlace underneath the back body. As you can see from the insert, you can place a block on the medium or high side or low side. Place it right under your sacrum and let the block do the work for you. The chest is puffed, the chin is slightly tucked. The soles of your feet are pressing into the earth, knees are pointing towards the sky. With each inhale, lift the buttocks, lift the chest just a little bit more. Surrender into the pose, surrender into stillness. And remember to breathe. The breath is the link between all your postures. Slowly release vertebrae by vertebrae. Reposition yourself on the mat, hug your knees in, rock from right to left, massage that sacrum. And then lengthen your legs. The knees are still bent. Find the outer edges of your feet as you move into happy babies pose. Strengthening the hips, the buttocks, and the thighs. Letting the knees come down towards the mat. The shoulders receive the weight. The body rests in stillness. Coming back to the breath. A gentle inhale, a gentle exhale. Let the knees come together. Extend the left leg long on the mat, the right leg right beside the left. If you have the availability of sandbags, find one now and place it across your abdomen as you prepare for your final resting pose, your Shavasana. Begin to deregulate the body, dropping into rest, dropping into stillness. Releasing, surrendering, letting go, knowing that you are safe and that you are held by the universe. Knowing that there is something greater than yourself. So allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to be aware and to notice. Begin to slowly awaken, finding some movement with your fingers, your toes, stretching overhead, bending your knees, placing the soles of your feet on the mat, rocking from right to left, and then eventually roll to your right side in a fetal position, supporting your digestive system, keeping your heart close to the earth. Reminding yourself to release control, to surrender. Remembering your intention as a present truth. Rolling up, letting the head dangle come up last, and returning to your hero's pose. Hands in front of the heart center, Anjali Mudra. Raising your fingertips to your forehead. May you be guided by your heart, lifted by your spirit, and warmed by your soul. Namaste.